UFC 322 is finally over, and it proved to be an epic fight card that fans truly enjoyed.
Теперь у нас тоже есть два чемпиона. У нас самая сильная страна, самая сильная республика, самые лучшие бойцы.
We were all wondering how Islam would look at 170, if the strength, if the power, if the grappling would translate. As the week went on, I think we all thought, okay, he's really comfortable looking at 170. He's looking really good without his shirt in those photos and in the training footage that we saw. And he said it afterwards, Chuck, in the post-fight interview to Joe Rogan. He's like, man, this is a dream. I feel so much better. And it's a scary thought. That's his first fight at 170. Just think how he's going to look after his second and his third. It's really remarkable what this guy is doing. I'm blown away by the performance because I really think the world of Jack Della, who had not, lost in the UFC and was on an incredible winning streak himself, to do that to him is nothing short of amazing.
See, now, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I want to see Ilia Topuria versus Islam now. I want to see it even more now. Dude, Ilia versus Islam White House. Make it happen, Dana. Make it happen.
I like the over. I think the under-over is 2.5 rounds. I'm not sure what the lay is, what the money is as far as laying, but I can tell you if that's accurate, 2.5 rounds, I like the over. I'll tell you that.
Huh? Usman's there. Usman can be a problem. Can he? Well, you've seen how he done well against Chimaev as well.
Yeah.
That can be definitely. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably, and he doesn't take any unnecessary risk. So he's a smart. So I think Usman will be Islam's toughest challenge. Won't take any unnecessary risk. Can stick to a game plan. Who's going to give Islam problems?
Get
me at 170. Get me at 170.
We'll get you back on the Maccas.
Nah, look. Again, feel bad for JDM. And feel for him. Obviously, you don't get much better dudes than Jack. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
I didn't plan on it, but my shuttle just got here and I saw him walk. I wanted to tell Habib and Islam both congratulations, man. What they're doing is incredible. Just won a belt, 15 pounds up. I mean, dominantly. It's just him and his team, the work they're doing and the way they're performing is incredible, man. I got to respect it,
I think when we think about the White House, it's almost like, oh, does it have to be America versus the world themed and stuff like that? For you, would you be happy putting a non-American main event on that card?
Yeah, it's not America versus the world. It's what's the best card we can build.
So could Islam end up on the White House?
We're talking about him possibly, GOAT talk here, depending on what he does in his next couple of fights. So it's a possibility. And I was saying to Habib, I've been in the fight business since I was 20 years old, and all I ever hear is this guy's going to be a world champion. This guy's going to do this. This guy's going to do that. Everybody says the same thing, and almost nobody ever does or makes it. His father said Habib will go in and dominate, and he'll have a run, and when he's done, and then Islam will come in behind him and do the same. And, holy shit, it played out exactly the way his father said, which is pretty amazing. I don't know what you asked me, but I hope I answered your question.
No, it's just... If you didn't watch the fight and you want to know just how dominant it was somewhat reminiscent of the Kamzach Chimaev Dricus Duplessis fight, which we saw back in August. The fight, each round starts standing. Shortly thereafter, there's a takedown, and Jack Della was just never able to get up. He was never able to do much on the ground.
towards the end of the fight, he looked defeated, he looked distraught, he looked deflated. His calf was messed up. Not to suggest that Islam didn't hit him with some shots standing, but it just was one-way traffic throughout. He is just so strong, he is so good, he is so dominant, he is so talented, and now he becomes just the 11th fighter in UFC history to win a belt in 2 different weight classes. He is also the man who has just won his 16th fight in a row, and in doing so ties the great Anderson Silva for the longest winning streak in UFC history. So all kinds of history made tonight at Madison Square Garden. He is the pound for pound best in the world. There is no denying that, and is slowly but surely going down as one of the greatest ever, and in my opinion has put his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov with this victory very much in the rearview mirror. He has surpassed him. If he had not done so already, Islam Makhachev is that guy. And now the welterweights, which we'll be talking about a lot on this here program, have a new problem to figure out, because this is going to be a very tricky puzzle.
I didn't think Islam was going to be able to, I didn't think Islam is small for 170. I've seen him in person. I've trained with him. He's a big fucking dude. And who would Islam fight next at 170? You know what? I think Islam is destined for, he should fight Ilia Topuria at the White House. If he beats Ilia Topuria, he retires. Islam has plenty of money, right? Go out on your shield like Khabib did. A lot of people in MMA don't want to see that, but in mixed martial arts, us athletes, we stay too long at the party. There's no reason for an athlete to continue to come into the head and all that stuff. If I was him, fight Ilia Topuria at the White House, you beat Ilia Topuria, walk away. I'm sure he made another one. That shit probably goes as far as fucking Russia, so there's no point for him to keep on fighting.
Topuria, I don't know if you saw his tweet. He said you're like the most boring fighter in the UFC or something like that. I know you said to ask you about him after the fight at Media Day. Can you give us your full thoughts on a fight with him now?
No injury, nothing. I don't feel any pains. I'm ready. Who is gonna be next? Let's do this, and I will make it easy.
Daniel Cormier called this Islam Makhachev's toughest matchup yet. He highlighted JDM's size, wrestling, sharp boxing, and growing confidence as real threats. In Cormier's eyes, Jack entered the fight ready to test himself and prove he belongs among the elite.
This is the hardest fight of his life.
That's what he said.
Like, hands down. This guy's big. He's a natural welterweight. He can wrestle. He's improved. His boxing is next level boxing. He's good. He's very, very good. There's been some tough fights in Islam's career, but I don't think he's ever fought anyone like this kid. Jack Della Maddalena is the real deal, man. He is, and the more he wins, the more confident he gets, right? So it becomes harder and harder to beat him. And I think that fight that he had last time with Bilal gives him more confidence that he can go out there and fight a guy like Islam. So yeah, it's not about if I have anything positive to say about Jack. There's a lot positive to say about Jack. He's a world champion for a reason, and he's one of the best fighters in the world, hands down.
Islam Makhachev also reminded fans before the fight that people underestimate his striking. He said most see him only as a wrestler, but he's proven multiple times that he can stand and trade with anyone. While he believes his wrestling and grappling are superior to everyone else's, Makhachev made it clear that if those tools didn't work, he was fully ready to strike.
People recognize me like I'm just a wrestler. No, I can strike with anyone. I show you guys many times I can strike with everybody. But I know I have better than all of the fighters wrestling and grappling, you know. Tomorrow is, if wrestling is not gonna working, we're gonna strike, we're gonna fight, you know. And I'm a best fighter in the world, and I have all skills.
Meanwhile, Dricus du Plessis admitted he wanted Jack Della Maddalena to win, but still found it hard to pick against Islam Makhachev. He pointed to Islam's history of beating elite opponents and noted his size, strength, and thorough preparation for moving up in weight. Even while rooting for Jack, du Plessis acknowledged that Islam was an incredibly tough challenge.
Versus Makhachev's opponents, Makhachev has beaten the who's who. He is where he is, and he was pound for pound for very long. Pound for pound king for a very good reason. People think Jack Della is going to be bigger. I don't think so. I've now lately seen And that's why they did such a long camp, to pick up that weight correctly. And he looks big, and he looks thick, and he looks strong. I mean, no doubt, he's a hard worker. But this one, I think, with Jack Della, I love his style, I love him, I like his personality. I would love for him to win that bout, but unfortunately, I cannot go against Makhachev in this one. I think he is just so good. I think he's so good, and I don't think he's going to give up anything going up a weight. I think he's going to be great at that weight, to be honest.
Make history.
Dustin Poirier also predicted that Islam Makhachev would win by decision. He admitted Jack had the power and timing to land something big, but felt that seeing JDM win, whether by points or submission, would still be a major upset.
No, call me crazy, but I'm running with Jack on this one. I think the very first 2 rounds is going to be super competitive, and we're gonna see how the fight is going to play out. I think Jack's takedown defense is going to be huge. He's going to show huge here. I think he's going to defend a bunch of takedowns. I think he's going to get Islam tired. I think the size he's going to put on Islam is going to be a little bit too much. A lot of people keep saying, that Islam doesn't get tired, but in fights you can see it. He just wasn't as tired as the other guy next to him was. But in my mind, I see this way playing out. Jack getting him tired, getting his hand raised, maybe a 3rd round TKO leaning towards Jack. And I think Jack is gonna find Islam's chin, and when people find Islam's chin, Islam when he gets hit sometimes it looks like it gets to him, I'm not saying like he's get hurt, like oh my god he's crazy hurt, but it looks like when he gets pinged, they don't like it.
Max Holloway, however, predicted that JDM would finish Islam Makhachev in the 3rd round. He argued that Jack's relentless pressure and precise striking would eventually wear Islam down. Holloway noted that while Islam often appears tireless, he has shown moments of fatigue in past fights, and JDM could capitalize once the pace caught up to him.
I'm not trying to count Islam out, but I just know Jack. I know that when Jack keeps getting up, it's going to be a problem, and Islam's going to be forced to strike. And when he's forced to strike with Jack, he's gonna get hurt. Islam, I think, is the best of the Dagestanis, one of the best fighters in history, one of the most efficient. But when it comes to Jack, look, even Dustin's able to get up and stop his submissions, and Dustin's a fucking gun. And also, I've seen live what Volk can do with Islam when they were in Perth.
Dustin has great boxing, but I still think Jack is on the boxing level.
Levels! And he's touching him. So that's why I know he's gonna hurt Islam. I do think, Islam, I'm not disrespecting, I think Islam will be able to get him down, but for how long? It's not for long. And also he's going to get stuffed from the beginning, in the middle, till Jack ends it. In this fight, not just because it's Anzac United, I really think that Jack Della Maddalena has the skills to stifle Islam's game and be able to just put it on the feet and knock him out. Might be 2nd round.
Israel Adesanya predicted that JDM would finish Islam Makhachev in the 2nd or 3rd round. He said that if Islam couldn't control JDM on the ground, he'd be forced to strike, which is where JDM is most dangerous. Adesanya pointed to moments in the Dustin Poirier and Alexander Volkanovski fights where Islam struggled on the feet, saying those exchanges showed why JDM's striking could be a real threat.
What do you think Islam does next weekend?
JDM is a tough. He's not much of a puzzle, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent and devastating with the basics, man. A little bit of range, a little bit of reach on Islam, and I won't even sit there and say, because Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers, because the dude's kind of a nut. So I think I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam.
Michael Chandler also gave JDM a slight edge over Islam Makhachev. He described Jack as a powerful, straightforward striker with great distance control and clean shots. Chandler added that Islam's experience training with bigger athletes makes size irrelevant. In the end, he said the fight would come down to whether JDM could survive Islam's non-stop wrestling pressure while still landing meaningful offense.
Jack Della Maddalena, because he's making his first welterweight title defense here, and he acknowledged Islam Makhachev as the toughest foe he possibly could have faced. And he's a pretty big underdog this weekend. And I think it stands to reason, based upon the way he performed against Belal Muhammad, if he was fighting anybody else at 70, he'd probably be the betting favorite to defend his title. It's fascinating to see Islam move up, to see how he carries the weight, to see how he performs at the weight. But I think Khabib and his camp has done everything in their power to put their athlete in a position to succeed. I think the betting line's way wider than it should be, but I do believe Islam, based upon his body of work, deserves the distinction as.
John Onik highlighted that JDM faced possibly his toughest challenge in his first welterweight title defense. He noted that Jack was a significant underdog, despite being favored against most other welterweights after the Belal Muhammad fight. Onik added that the move to 170 pounds added intrigue, as fans were curious to see how Islam would handle the new weight, especially given Khabib and his team had set him up for success.
Islam, he's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down. So, and also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second.
Meanwhile, Marabt Valesvi saw a clear path for Islam Makhachev to become a two-division champion by defeating JDM. He acknowledged Jack's striking threat but praised Islam's intelligence and adaptability, noting that he would likely study Jack's fight with Belal Muhammad closely. Valesvi expected a tough challenge but believed Islam would rise to the occasion and claim his second belt.
Why he's better or why he's going to give Islam a good fight, I just don't see it. Striking, grappling, submissions, takedown defense, takedowns. I see total dominance from my brother, Islam.
Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo predicted that Islam Makhachev would dominate JDM at UFC 322. He saw Islam as having a clear advantage in every aspect of the fight and expected it to be largely one-sided in Makhachev's favor.
Islam to win, but it's not going to be that easy. Jack has just gotten exponentially better in such a short time. I've watched him in a couple of fights. His spirit was never broke. It's going to be difficult, but if someone can make it look straight up easy, Islam possesses the skills.
I'm hearing through the grapevines too that Islam Makhachev, he doesn't have that too many fights in his career. Remember, dude, Khabib Nurmagomedov retired young, bro. These guys will follow suit. You know why? They train like freaking maniacs. They train hard, bro. There's something different with Russians. They love leaving on top.
Kamaru Usman acknowledged Islam Makhachev's advantage but saw the fight as a real challenge. He highlighted JDM's rapid development and resilience, expecting a competitive matchup while admitting that Islam's skill might make it look easier than it actually is.
Or Islam will get the Jack will get my trainer. Asking his coach, brother, wait, what he gonna say? We'll see. Your opinions? 10% od svog modernizacije. Ovo Islam duplo je zbara. Coach says 55% Maddalena, 45 Islam, but I think Islam will see. Both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will be more, he's gonna use his wrestling more.
Middleweight champion Kamzach predicted that Islam Makhachev would beat JDM at UFC 322. He called the matchup exciting, especially with Islam moving up in weight, and expected Makhachev to lean on his wrestling. Chimaev believed Islam's grappling pressure would control the fight and gradually neutralize Jack's striking as the rounds progressed.
I think Jack, just because of the size advantage, like the later it goes, like that's the thing. Being the bigger, stronger guy, it's effective if you can make the other fighter carry your weight. Jack being the bigger guy, I feel like the longer the fight goes, Islam's not used to carrying that same amount of weight. into deep waters. I feel like just Jack's frame and size will give him the advantage if it goes later into the fight. But Islam Makhachev is an incredibly smart fighter. On the feet, he's very hard to hit. He doesn't like getting hit at all. And then he's also very conservative on the ground. He's a very hard guy to touch. He's a very hard guy to start putting some damage on. But Jack Della, I feel like there's no one better than him right now at welterweight, and I see
Dan Hooker praised Islam Makhachev's intelligence and cage awareness, but saw JDM holding an edge at welterweight. He felt Jack's size and strength could wear Islam down with consistent pressure. While respecting Islam's ground game, Hooker believed Jack's power and well-rounded skills at 170 pounds made him a serious threat to any opponent.
Going to dictate where this fight takes place. Islam is not like most guys where once they start finding knockouts or once they start having a lot of success with their feet, they wind up becoming knockout artists. Islam still knows his best way to win this fight is by taking Jack to the ground and cooking him, and then basically finding a submission or some ground and pound. I don't see Islam going out there trying to just strike with the high-level striker, but I also don't see him selling out for a takedown. I think Islam's going to go out there and be measured the way we saw him against Volk in the second fight. He's going to stay on the outside. He's going to look to strike and throw.
Nick Barnhill noted that while JDM would bring strong offense, Islam Makhachev's strategy would dictate the fight. Unlike some fighters who fully shift to striking, Islam was expected to rely on his ground game, takedowns, submissions, and ground and pound, while using strikes selectively to control distance, much like he did in his second fight with Volkanovski.
JDM, do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like...
Banal Daesh, however, felt Islam Makhachev's game plan might not work immediately. He believed that at UFC 322, JDM could hold an edge thanks to his size and superior cardio. While admitting he could be wrong, Daesh leaned in favor of JDM for the matchup.
Islam Makhachev versus Jack Maddalena, who you got, Mario?
I'm gonna go with Jack on that one. Someone has to beat one of those guys.
God, are you taking Jack?
What's
Think he takes him out?
My heart says I want to go with Jack, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how Islam, like, is he gonna be like just bigger and stronger at 170? And it probably cuts a lot to 55. I'm hoping.
Mario Boutista backed JDM, hoping he could pull off an upset against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He admitted he was rooting for Jack, believing that a Dagestani fighter would eventually face defeat, and was curious to see how Islam's size at welterweight would affect the fight.
Versus Jack, for me, breaking down this fight stylistically, obviously trained with Islam, fought Jack. It's going to come down to if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground for Islam, I think his top game is going to be really good. He's very smart, very controlled, doesn't let you off the hook when you make a mistake. Jack makes mistakes on the ground. He uses it to scramble. He has good scrambling ability. He has moments where he's like lapses safety, right? He'll give up his back, he'll give up his neck, he'll give up arm triangle. And you can't do that with Islam. Islam's going to see that, and he's going to exploit it. I think if Islam comes out wrestling right away and forcing that takedown right away, making that work, it's going to be a long night for Jack.
Belal Muhammed emphasized that JDM would need to be flawless on the ground. He noted Islam Makhachev's calmness and control make him deadly in grappling, punishing even small mistakes. While Islam rarely slips, Muhammad pointed out that Jack occasionally leaves openings that Islam could exploit.
What is your feel on this one? And also, what do you think of the odds, man? Islam very heavy favorite going into this one.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I was obviously backing Jack. Like, Jack's, you know, he's one of the boys from our neighborhood, so he's from outside of the world. And look, Islam, there's a blueprint for beating Islam. He's been knocked out before. And Volk's beaten him already. You know what I'm saying? people are going to come in the comments.
Eugene Bearman also backed JDM, highlighting that he represents their region. He pointed out that Islam Makhachev isn't unbeatable, citing his past knockout loss and Alexander Volkanovski's win as examples of potential vulnerabilities. Bearman added that, despite some fan skepticism, a clear strategy exists to challenge Makhachev.
There's a bit of a blueprint out there. Look, if you can, obviously it's a difficult thing to counter the wrestling, but Islam you'll find holes. What you have to do with Islam is you have to get him. He's very good at throwing one shot. He can pick you off and throw one shot very well. But you need to put Islam in a position where he has to fight to win the round, and that means he has to put 2 and 3 punches together. His vulnerabilities come when he has to fight with you and put 2 or 3 punches together. That's when the holes start appearing, and that's because you just, you're a wrestler. Like at a high level, the holes start really appearing when there's a lot of pressure, and you have to put 2 or 3 punches together to hang with the other person. And that's where Jack will find the vulnerabilities. But they know that, bro. They're a very smart team, and it's a very interesting.
That's a wrap for today's video. Share your thoughts about this fight in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.